No secret layer alert!
Seriously, though, I really need them to release patch 7. Oh, hello! You're never going to believe it, but the new secret layers aren't sold out yet. You can actually consider whether or not you want to buy them for another day, maybe 2, and if you want to buy them, they're available for you to buy. Isn't that awesome? Disclaimer, it is not my fault if they somehow sell out by the time this video goes live. I got it out in 2 days, 2 days after the drop hit. It's as fast as I can go. But actually, speaking of things that didn't sell out, Mystery Booster 2's Convention in a Box is still available, which is very welcome. I absolutely love Mystery Booster 2. In fact, I think it is one of the best products ever made, and the fact that they printed enough of it so that it is still available, as of the recording of this video anyway, is fantastic. Now, I've not yet done my Is It Worth It to Buy video for Mystery Booster 2, but if you want to hear more details about the product, why I think it is so amazing, one of the best products, ever, period, all of those ideas in isolation of price, as well as why it absolutely still should come to retail stores, you can check out that video here. This video, as always, will be a financial review of the current Secret Layer Super Drop. Now, as I have always said, finances are not everything, and there are many other subjective factors to Secret Layers, but it is worthwhile to just examine, well, the worth. How much are you getting in terms of financial value for the money you are spending? Let's take a look. But first, what the... Have you ever been totally lost while traveling abroad because your phone didn't have connection to the internet? Me too. You know, last year in Barcelona for the Flesh and Blood Championship, every Wi-Fi hotspot felt like a desert island, surrounded by an inhospitable sea of data roaming. But if I'd had Saily, sponsor of today's video, it would have made a huge difference. Saily is a new eSIM service app brought to us by Nord Security. An eSIM provides you with an internet connection whenever you travel, saving you tons of money on roaming fees. I mean, traveling abroad can be nerve-wracking. The streets are unfamiliar. Maybe you don't speak the language. No matter where you're visiting, there will always be scammers looking to take advantage of fish-out-of-water travelers such as myself. But with Saily's new eSIM service app, you'll always be connected to Wi-Fi and therefore GPS, easy translation, and the infinite knowledge of every traveler who's visited before you and posted about it on the good old internet. Once you've downloaded it once, you never need to do it again. The same eSIM can be used for any future country you visit. This also saves you time waiting in line to buy a local SIM card at the airport and lets you avoid scammers trying to sell you fake SIM cards outside of train stations and airports and such. Best of all, if you have any issues, Saily also offers chat support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Saily is easy to download and compatible for all iOS and Android devices, and if for some reason your device isn't eSIM compatible, then Saily will give you a full refund. The best part, the first 5,000 people to use my discount code Tolarian Community, all one word, will get 1 gigabyte of Saily's data plan for free. Just go to Saily.com/Tolarian Community and download Saily to test the service out for free. And thank you, Saily, for sponsoring this video. Let's begin with the first of 2 beholder-themed drops with a face, or rather an eye, as its central legendary, along with 5 classic spells reskinned as beholder ray spells. The beholder for this drop is Xanathar, so all of its spells are in Dimir colors, including Bribery, which used to be a cube staple, but it's now been power crept out of most vintage cubes. It still sees some play in Commander, where you're very likely to have at least one person at the table with a big creature in deck to steal. Fun fact, it's modern legal. Less fun fact, it sees absolutely 0 play in Modern. Blood Money is a decent wrath in Commander, especially in decks that care about treasure generation, and Delay is a decent counter in Commander, which is notably great with a Teferi Time Reveler in play. Stifle is not only powerful and assault-inducing card in Commander, but it actually sees some legacy play, especially in tandem with Phyrexian Dreadnought. Getting your fetch land Wasteland Stifled is one of the worst feelings in Magic. Drown in the Loch sees a lot of play in Commander, and some cubes as well. It's also a great card in Modern Mill and Pioneer Rogues, though neither deck is very popular at the moment. And of course, the headliner is Big Daddy Xanathar himself, a highly appreciated commander by all those who enjoy the beauty of a good yoink strategy. While I do love seeing a secret lair with 6 cards, the value for both the non-foil and foil is almost identical to what you'd pay to get these cards on their own. I think when a secret lair's value is as on the nose as this, we'll stick with a C-, and the usual provision that if you love this art or this is themed to you for whatever reason, that financial value is not the only reason you buy a secret lair. But here you're getting more or less exactly what you pay for, so that's fine if you like the artwork. And speaking of which, the second Beholder-themed drop also may have artwork which speaks to you, as this drop is centered around Karazikar, a tyrannical Beholder overlord obsessed with finding the reality-bending maze engine. This drop is all about Rakdos cards. From Snuff Out, wow, they reprinted Snuff Out, they got my letters. A fantastic card in all formats, from Legacy to Commander, and especially Pauper. Free spells are great, especially free interaction, which is part of what makes Snuff Out so ubiquitous. It's even played in Cube. Defile, too, is a powerful card, but for the most part, only sees play in mono-black Commander decks, where it's much better in the late game rather than the early. Hey, and another favorite of mine, it's Oubliette. They reprinted it, the cowards, and since they actually had to change the way the card worked due to not being able to fit the original's rules text all on one card, they actually ended up making it really good in Commander, giving it the ability to remove an opponent's commander without them getting to send it back to the command zone. Marvelous, simply marvelous. And hey, up next, it's another favorite of mine. What is this? It's Fling. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that fling. The all-star of my favorite Pauper deck that was then banned out from under me when they took away my Atogs. I still have a warm place in my heart for Fling, even though it is, of course, just a 4-cent card. The drop also includes Fire Covenant, one of the best sweepers in Magic the Gathering. It's essentially a 3-mana Plague Wind if you have the life to pay, which you almost always do in Commander, which is where it sees the most play alongside some appearances in Vintage Cube. And then there's Karazikar himself, who unlike Xanathar doesn't really see much play in Commander, though I would recommend it in the 99 for those who enjoy Goad or Group Slug strategies. Total value here is not too different, with the non-foil value being worth the price of the box, and about an extra $10 for the foils, largely due to the high value of Snuff Out. I'll give this a split down the middle of C- for non-foil and C+ for the foil. Next, we have the first of 2 drops built around a D&D legend and Baldur's Gate 3 All-Star. It's Astarion's Thirst. And can I just say that both of these drops that you're about to see are great examples of where artwork may indeed transcend financial value. Because wow, did they really nail it with this artwork. Astarion himself is a reasonably popular commander among life gain enjoyers. Though 6 mana is expensive for an Orzhov commander, at least you get value immediately after casting it, as Astarion goes to work right away on your end step. The drop also contains, wow, Exquisite Blood, one half of a famous combo, with Sanguine Bond, which is also included here. I think it's great that they included both halves of this famous combo, which honestly you can run in just about any black deck, though Exquisite Blood is sometimes a powerful standalone card for keeping your own life total high, and Sanguine Bond can deal a lot of damage by itself to your opponents if you're gaining life consistently. The drop also includes Anguished Unmaking, one of the best cards in its class for this type of flexible removal in Orzhov colors, since unlike Vindicate, its top competition, it's an instant and it exiles. Another ubiquitous commander card. Mortify sees less play, though it will still turn up in lower budget commander decks. But again, once you start spending money on your cards, you're probably going to want to run Anguished Unmaking in Mortify's slot. This is honestly the weirdest inclusion here, as it's both not a very valuable card and not particularly played. Anguished Unmaking would have been better. Anything would have been better. Mortify's 18 cents. And the total value for all of these cards in non-foil is less than $20. That's going to be a straight D there, and a C- for the foils, as they are only worth the actual price of the box. Though I do want to point out $33 of that foil value is tied up in exquisite blood, which this copy likely won't retain. The other D&D legend and cards that go with it drop is centered around fan favorite Carlac. Well, Astarian's a fan favorite too. Honestly, all the Baldur's Gate 3 characters are fan favorites now. Why don't they have one of these drops for each character? Why didn't Baldur's Gate, the actual Magic set, which had accompanying commander decks, not have each character from the Baldur's Gate 3 party leading off its own commander deck? I just don't... Anyway, what are we... Secret Lair alert talking about? Anyway, it's unfortunate that Carlac was not given a better card because, as she stands, she doesn't see much play in Commander, though her being a fan favorite does mean the card commands some price by default. City on Fire is one of many of these red extra damage enchantments, all of which are good in Commander, as these effects are, though Convoke is an awkward mechanic on a card that makes your combat steps stronger since you have to tap down potential attackers. Stranglehold still sees some play in Commander, but not much anymore, as preventing players from searching libraries is more annoying than it is powerful. Thrill of Possibility is a perfectly fine card in Commander, though it's starting to get power crept out by cards like Highway Robbery. The real exciting inclusion is Dolmen Gate, a card that's both cool and unique. It's particularly great in Ansrag decks, but any Commander deck that gets into the combat trenches will benefit from this card. Overall, this drop is the best value of all 5 of these drops. Spoiler alerts for the next one, especially the foil version thanks to the absurd $120 foil Dolmen's Gate price. Remember, this foil copy will almost certainly not carry anything close to that value. I've talked about these deceptively inflated foil value drops before, and so I think I'm going to say it's a C for the non-foil, as it's only really $34 in value, and only a B- for the foil version, because once you factor out the Dolmen Gate value, there's not really that much left in foil. Last up, we have an Exhibition of Adventure, a Secret Lair drop that takes popular D&D book cover art from throughout time and applies that art to highly played cards. The books whose cover art was used are the flavor text of each card, which is a neat detail. And there are a whopping 7 cards in this drop, though the value still can't quite seem to get there. But is that any wonder with 6-cent inclusions like Fell the Mighty, which I guess is a pretty good Wrath and White Weenie Commander decks? But again, it's 6 cents. Faithless Looting at least sees play, but it is 18 cents. Though it certainly is a card that will have many places to be run, as it is one of the best discard outlets of all time. It is banned in Modern, however, and will very likely never be unbanned there. Reality Shift, a 28-cent card, is one of the best blue removal spells in Commander, as it is unconditional, exile-based, and the downside of manifesting an opponent's card is largely insignificant for you. It sees no play anywhere else, though. Monster Manual is a couple of bucks, as it is a decent Commander card and occasionally sees some cube play as well. The adventure mode attached to the card helps find a creature to put in play, which is nice. Ponder, though not commanding a high price tag itself, is arguably the strongest cantrip of all time. It's a legacy staple and would be a modern staple too if it was ever unbanned. It sees play in Pauper, it sees play in Vintage, where it was recently unrestricted by the way, and it even sees play in Commander, mostly in spells-based decks. Ace Rarok, the Arc Lich, and no, I'm not going to try another take on that name, is mostly useful as a win condition in decks that generate infinite mana. It's also a 1-card kill if you have a Lurin in play. Because of this, the card shows up in Legacy as well as Commander, and even occasionally in Pioneer Legends decks. But the most impressive inclusion of the drop is Goldspan Dragon, an absolutely fantastic Commander card. It's great in cube as well, even powered cubes, and occasionally sees some fringe Pioneer play, giving it a value of just over $8 in non-foil and $18.88 in foil, but all of the other low-value cards mean that the total non-foil value is just under $20, and we break even with foil value at $39.65, so C- again. Glad to see them doing drops with more than 5 cards, but you gotta add a few more cards of some actual value if you want to get those financial grades up. So all in all, a pretty lackluster assortment of cards. You know, it feels as though gone are the days of secret layers packed with valuable reprints. There were several of those. Now it's just a test as to whether or not your $30 to $40 gets you $30 to $40 of cards, which it should at least do that. And remember that Convention in a Box with Mystery Booster 2 is still available as well, and you can hear all of my detailed thoughts about that product and why I still hope it will come to retail stores here. Plus, you can also check out this week's brand new episode of Shuffle Up and Play. We're playing Gamblin' Commander with Ristic Studies, Spencer Crittenden, and the one and only Voxy. Check that video out if you haven't already. It may be one of our best episodes of Shuffle Up yet. And hey, thanks once again to Saley for sponsoring this video. Remember, Saley is a new eSIM service app brought to you by Nord Security. An eSIM provides you with an internet connection whenever you travel, wherever you travel, saving you tons of money on roaming fees. Best of all, the first 5,000 people to use my discount code, Tellurian Community, all one word, will get 1 gigabyte of Saley's data plan for free. Just go to saley.com/Tellurian Community and download Saley to test the service out for free. And thanks, Saley, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Today, we are playing Commander with animators.
Hello, I'm James. I have a YouTube channel called The Odd Ones Out.
I think we do need to drop the animation. We can't afford it for the entire episode. Can we do a face reveal?
Whoa! Animation sucks.
I have become the monarch. He converts.
It was a robot in disguise all along. I thought it was a Urza blade.
Somebody once sent me an email with some Transformers Vor fan fiction. I did read it. It wasn't bad.
I'm returning your commander to your hand.
All right, in response, I'm gonna fling my wick at your face.
Tap 2 and negate that.
Oh!
I'm going to tap 2.
1, 2, 3.
Let's play.
We're never doing that again.
No, that's your thing now.
No, I don't want to.